You are welcome to From Single to Married with Zoe. And today, I'll be sharing something very vital with you on the difference between what it means to be ripe for marriage and to be matured for marriage. I can assure you that not understanding this is the exact reason why so many people are crying seriously in marriage today, why many are suffering in marriage, and why it seems as if the divorce rate is increasing at a jet speed rate. God is the creator of the institution of marriage, and when it comes to God, everything God created has term and condition. They are what you must know to a point of understanding, and you must be ready to intentionally apply it in order to get the desired result. Marriage is a beautiful institution, but when you go into marriage working on I love you, you love me, emotion, guesswork, assumption, the truth is this: you are going to experience what is called hell on earth in that marriage. And this is exactly the situation that a lot of people have actually find themselves. Nothing is wrong with the institution of marriage. It's a very good institution. So if something is wrong with any marriage, blame the two people in that marriage. They are responsible for whatever is wrong. Marriage is sweet, marriage is interesting. But the marriage that is sweet and interesting is not a kind of marriage that is run on guesswork. It's not a kind of marriage that is run on assumption and emotion. Where am I going today? It is a different thing to be ripe for marriage and a different thing to be matured for marriage. God has not created the institution of marriage for those who are ripe for marriage to step into, but for those who are matured for marriage. It is only those who are matured for marriage that can ever experience heaven on earth experience in marriage. What is the difference between the two? When we talk about to be ripe for marriage, we are simply saying somebody is of a marriageable age, with a marriageable stature, done with school, now working, of course, putting his hand and mind to work to generate income. And definitely, such a person is independent. So the community and the family, the next thing is, when are you getting married? When are you bringing wife? When are you bringing husband? Let me tell you this. The community does not care about you. They don't care about you. Don't let people put pressure on you when you are not matured for marriage. As a matter of fact, the pressure they put on some people is what forced them into marriage. Many people are not ready for marriage, but the pressure from the community, the pressure from family members is what pushed a lot of people into marriage. This is one thing you need to know. When they pressurize you into marriage, you are the only one that will suffer in that marriage. They will not suffer with you. That is the truth. So, as a result of this, a lot of people who are yet to prepare for marriage have jumped into marriage, and their experience is such a bad experience. Just because you are of a marriageable age, you are done with school, you have a physical stature that they can say, oh, go and get married. You are working, you are generating income, you are independent by having your own apartment, does not qualify you for marriage. And that's the truth. You are doing well in your career, excelling in your career. This is one reason why you see a lot of celebrities, a lot of influential people, a lot of people doing well in their career, failing woefully in marriage. But when it comes to being matured for marriage, what does it mean? Being mature for marriage simply means you have taken the extra step from being right to marriage into seeking for the knowledge of the truth that is required to make good and profitable decisions in marriage to a point of understanding. It means you are equipped with the knowledge of the truth on the principles of marriage to a point of understanding. Maturity is a function of the mind, not a function of age. It's a pity that when they talk about maturity, some ignorant people think it's about age. I've seen someone around 45 to 50 thinking and acting like a 16 years old child. And I've seen someone around the age of 23, 25 reasoning, thinking, behaving, acting, and commanding results like somebody who is 60 years old. The difference between the two is simply mindset. The difference between a wealthy person and a poverty-stricken person is not because God loved one and God hates one. God loved everybody. The difference is simply mindsets. There is a mindset required to generate wealth. If you are not in possession of that, if you serve God till tomorrow, God will not give you the wealth. Because God does not support the boycotting of process to progress. No, He doesn't do that. It's the God that loves you to take responsibility. Everything on earth is guided by mindset. So maturity simply talks about you have equipped your mind with the mindset required to go into marriage, make profitable and good decision in that marriage, because your marriage cannot be better than your decision. That's the truth. The outcomes of your life are a product of your mindset. When we talk about mindset, what are we talking about? We are talking about how your mind is set. How your mind is set. How your mind is set determines your thoughts, determines your action, and your action determines your outcomes in life. That's why we say you can never be greater than your mindset. That is the truth. Man is a spirit with a soul and dwells in the body. Both the spirit, the soul, and the body is important because the spirit and the soul cannot execute anything without the body. The spirit cannot jump the soul in making use of the body. Practically impossible. But you see, the soul is divided into what is called the intellect, the emotion, and the mind. The intellect for gathering of knowledge, the emotion, you understand, our 5 sense organ and so on. The mind is the seat of wisdom. The mind is the seat of decision making. And let me say this, what you listen to, what you read, what you watch, what you discuss, the kind of company you keep, determine what sets your mind. As a matter of fact, you can give back to a child in the Niger Delta region of Nigeria, or let's say in Ijebu axis of Nigeria, that is in the state. Let's say Ijebu. They have a particular language they speak. Also in the Niger Delta, there's a particular language they speak. Now, when you give back to these kids, and at a certain age, probably at 4 or 5, they are now speaking like a Niger Delta person, and the Ijebu is speaking like an Ijebu person. Some people will say, they must speak it now. It is in their blood. They are from certain places. Let me tell you the truth. They are not speaking because an Ijebu or a Niger Delta give back to them. No, they are not speaking that language because of that. Know why they are speaking that language fluently? Because what they see, what they hear, what they watch is what set their mind and what aid they are speaking. That's why if you remove the one born in Niger Delta at the age of 6 months and take that one to China, you will be surprised that that person will not be able to speak anything called Niger Delta language at all. And you will observe that at age 6 or 10, the person will be speaking like a Chinese. And if you take the one from the Ijebu axis of Ogun State to United Kingdom, or let's say to America, at age 6-10, if you hear from that one will be speaking like an American, pure American. That one will not even be able to say, speak Ijebu language at all. You know what I'm trying to tell you? Your environment, what you watch, what you listen to, the discussion that happens around you is what shapes your mindset, and that's what you exhibit. And this is very important. Very, very important. What you set your mind with is what controls your life. So if you have not set your mind with the knowledge of the truth, based on principles of marriage that is required to make good and profitable decisions in marriage, you are not matured for marriage. How do you make right decision when you are void of the knowledge that is required? This is practically impossible. You can't give a question paper meant for 500 level student in the university to the best student in 100 level, even studying the same course, and expect that best student in 100 level to actually excel outstandingly in that examination. It's not possible. What is the problem? The problem is not because the 100 level student is not intelligent or smart. Very intelligent and smart. Remember, he is the best student in the 100 level. The problem is because the mindset required to answer that question has not been programmed in the person. So we need to go through 200 level, they program something, 300 level, they program something, 400 level, they program something, 500 level, they program something. Then you will be able to attempt that question and pass that question. It's all about mindset. Now imagine, let's say marriage has been placed on 500 level and somebody in 100 level is jumping into marriage. How do you expect them to really excel in marriage? This is what is happening. I'm showing you a practical illustration of what is happening today. People go into marriage they are void of the mindset required, and they want to use I love you, you love. That's why a lot of people who love themselves are failing woefully in marriage today, and you will be surprised what is wrong. What is wrong is the mindset. If the mindset is not there, forget it. When it comes to life issue, you don't assume to excel when it comes to life issue. Assumption is the mother that will always give back to all manner of frustration. It doesn't give back to the right result. Practically impossible. And this is why I keep telling you, marital connection is not supposed to be difficult at all. No, people are not supposed to be struggling and facing a lot of problems like they are doing today. They are not supposed to be facing those problems at all. They are supposed to take time to work on themselves, focus on getting matured for marriage, and you will see the way God will actually settle them easily. The truth is this: God will not settle you until you are matured for marriage, because God is not a God of Father Christmas. You are crying, you are shedding tears, you are fasting, you are praying. See, God does not work on emotion. That's the truth. If God should now connect you just because you are serving Him when you are not matured for marriage, at the end of the day, you end up blaming God. That's why you see people saying, God, why did you do this? God, why did you do this? No, God will never put Himself in a situation where you will come back and begin to accuse Him. No. When you are mature for marriage, the way the marital connection will happen, very easy, dramatic, and it looks like a miracle. So I used to tell people, instead of crying up and down, jumping from prayer to post, jumping from one crusade to another, Lord said to me, sowing seed here, sowing sacrifice there, sowing this there, and yet you are void of what you need to get matured for marriage. Go and sit down and seek for how to equip yourself in such a way that you'll be matured for marriage, and you'll be so shocked and surprised at how God will say to you. The question is, this God is not a wicked God. It's not a wicked God, but God is not a God of assumption. God is not a God of emotion. God is not a God of ignorance. You can't bribe God with prayer. You can't bribe God with fasting. You can't bribe God. He doesn't need your money. With sacrifices, with seed, He doesn't need your money. If you do the right thing, God will say to you. It's just like a program. When some things are programmed on the system, if you don't understand how to actually make use of those things, there is nothing you can do. Pray till next year. You need to sit down and allow someone to guide you on how the thing is programmed. Then you will get things right. That is just it. So, my advice for as many single that are watching me is this: stop getting worried. Stop putting yourself under unnecessary pressure. Stop allowing the pressure to take over you. Getting worried, putting yourself under pressure, being depressed will never solve your marital connection and settlement issue. It will make it worse. There is always what to do to get things right. One thing you need to do is to wake up and let's work on you. So you get to a point where you are now matured for marriage, and it will be easy for you to be settled. God really wants to glorify himself in your marital testimony, marital breakthrough testimony. He really wants to. Now the question is, why will God delay you? No, I've seen a lot of people, God delaying me, or God is not delaying you. The truth is this: a lot of people are actually claiming they are waiting on God when they are actually wasting their time. I used to tell people this: God will not ask you to wait on him without giving you an instruction. And there are certain class of people God expects them to wait on him due to their purpose in life. Because there are certain capacity that must be built in them in order for them to get things right. Because there are certain people whose vision is so important to an extent that when they miss it maritally, that vision has crashed. And God is the God of vision. So for the purpose of building a certain capacity that will help them, and also to get the right person, God may ask them to wait and do some works on them. So that's just it. Let me say this: in every aspect of life where you are matured, you observe that you are achieving some kind of good result in that aspect. Watch the aspect of life where you are not mature, you observe that you are struggling seriously there. That's just it. There is nothing called general maturity. No. There's nothing called that. You are matured in certain aspect of life. That as I'm speaking to you, there are aspects of life that I will have to bow. For example, if I'm driving on the road and my car developed a fault, there is no prayer I can pray. There is no wisdom I can engage to actually fix that car if I'm not a mechanic. So I have to bow to the expertise and the wisdom and sacrifice of a roadside mechanic. This person may not even go to school at all, but I must bow to the maturity of that person in the aspect of mechanical works and so on in order to fix my car. And you know the funniest thing? He will even charge me, and I must pay after he has done that. You know what he's charging me for? He's charging me for, you are not matured in this aspect. I am mature in this aspect. So due to my sacrifice, my labor and so on, my knowledge, pay me. Are you getting it now? That's why there is no one that knows everything. But in every aspect of life where you desire to get things right, you must seek for the knowledge of the truth concerning the principle required in that aspect. Every aspect of life requires you settling down and learning how things is done in that aspect before you can actually get things right. That's the truth. So if you want to get your financial life right now, you are not just going to assume, let me go into this. You have to learn. If you want to start a business, you don't assume you are doing well in career. No, you must learn. What kind of business am I going into? How is things done in this aspect? How do you prepare my account so that I will not just be spending anyhow? How do you go, when do you go to market? Okay, when you buy the product, how do you determine your profit? How do you determine your price and so on? You must learn. You have to learn. It applies to marriage as well because it's an institution. It's a part of life that is important. So I'm asking many of you, drop your worry, drop your shedding of tears, drop your depression, drop the pressure. Now focus on working on yourself in order to be equipped for marriage. Then we can say you are matured for marriage. You must be mentally matured for marriage. You must be financially matured for marriage. You must be emotionally matured for marriage. You must be socially matured for marriage. What am I saying? You must know some things deeply in this aspect in order for you to get things right. How do you put commitment into place when you don't know anything about commitment? How do you put attention, affection into place when you know nothing about them? How do you communicate effectively when you don't understand how to communicate? I hope you know just your tone alone is enough to scatter your marriage. I hope you know you can say the right thing in the wrong way and that will cause misunderstanding in your marriage. And I hope you know just a word used in the right way can actually put an end to a very serious issue in your marriage. I hope you know your tone and the way you express yourself, the signal, can actually kill your wife mentally or kill your husband mentally. Are you seeing why you need to learn? How do you understand intimacy when you have learned nothing about intimacy yet? Once intimacy is lost in any marriage, that marriage is over. Forget it. How do you understand how to deal with third parties when you have not learned and equipped yourself with the knowledge required? There are so many marriages today that are not working. It's not as if the partner don't love themselves, but they lack the wisdom required to deal with third parties. So they allow every third party to interfere in their affairs. How do you deal with financial issue when you have not? So these are things you must know and understand before you think of, I am going into marriage. And it is important for the two people. That's why God, when God is involved, is going to connect two people that are prepared. Because there's what is called alignment of mindset. Only those who are prepared can actually get married right. When it is God, He's going to connect only those who are matured for marriage together. It is easy for them to work as one, to agree as one, to help each other, to support each other, to make life easy for each other. It is easy for them to smile together when it is for better. It is easy for them to support each other when it is for worse in marriage. In my next teaching, which I'm going to be dropping immediately after this, I'll be talking to you on how to get matured for marriage. Since the focus is on get mature for marriage and what we said to you. Since the focus is on drop your worry, drop the pressure, drop the depression, and now work on yourself in order to get mature for marriage. So I'm going to show you how do you get to that level of being matured for marriage. I'm going to be sharing 4 or 5 things very important with you, and it's going to help you. In case you have a question for me, please, you are free to drop your question for me, and I'll be so glad to answer them.